Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So we decided, me and XDigitalbeam decided that we should probably do something along the lines of a podcast at some point, and it was really kind of his idea, and I'm just rolling with it because I have live streaming privileges on YouTube.
Yeah. So this episode is called the pilot because we didn't really come up with a name right off the bat since we just did started this today. So we will probably leave the choice of the name to the audience.
And
So
in
yeah.
actuality, where probably towards the end we'll have a question and answer, and depending on if that goes popular will also depend on if we keep this a live thing or if we pre-record it.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we get to the first topic for the day? You're the one who has the topic, so I'll let you.
Okay. So topic number one is games we played this week. Um, I don't know. Pokemon is not the only games we play. There's other games we obviously play. So the games I've been playing right now, since I've just got my 3DS, I've gotten the game Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and in my opinion, the game is pretty good. The storyline is decent. It's just a continuation of what's been going on. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you know what the fuck's going on. If you're not, I suggest you go and play the first game or Birth by Sleep because that's the actual first game that came out.
Well,
And
Birth by Sleep is the first in
it's
the timeline.
yeah, I think it goes Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts One, Chained of Memories, 3358 dash two, and then
358 over 2 days is parallel with Chain of Memories.
yeah, and then there's Kingdom Hearts Two, and then Dream Drop, and then the third one, which is coming out in 2014, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, that one's forcing me to get a PS4, unfortunately. But well, fortunately, I guess I was gonna need some kind of reason to get one at some point.
Yeah, I heard it's both for the PS3 and the Xbox Xbox One. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm gonna PS4. Screw Xbox One just kind of killed it with the features that they all showed at E3, which they're actually going ahead and re-rolling. I guess I should get to the games that I played though.
Yeah, you've played
Over,
a lot of interesting games.
I
You've talked about it too.
I have actually. So I recently got Super Mario 64 DS on my Ace card, and that I've been playing that a little bit. It's kind of interesting to see how it differs from the original 64.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure if I like it better yet. The controls are, I don't know. Their DS
What do you
can.
think of playing as Mario, Luigi, Wario, or Yoshi? What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty fun, and they all have their uses and different stars, and obviously some stars you can only get with one of them.
Hmm.
Personally, Yoshi's kind of the weak character, just due to the fact that he's the only one who can't really grab anyone and throw him down. He has to, unfortunately, eat an enemy and then spit an egg out.
Yeah, I'm actually watching Chuck Conroy's playthrough of that.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
he's the one that actually, like, I don't know, encouraged me to finally get it on my Ace card.
Sweet.
And then I got Suikoden Tierxis. I think that's how you say it. It's a Suikoden game, and if any of you have ever played Suikoden, you know how fun it actually is, and there's a huge amount of characters you quote unquote can play as well, which is always a nice thing. Um, and it's pretty fun. That's also for DS. So if you want to like go to Emulator Zone or whatever and get it, then feel free. Then I've also been playing the Tales of the Abyss for 3DS, and it's actually like the remake. I just found this out. It's actually the remake of the Tales of the Abyss for the PlayStation, which is fascinating, I suppose.
Oh,
And then of
interesting.
and then of course I've been playing League, and I also played that Half Minute Hero, which hopefully some of you checked out.
Yeah, Half a Minute Hero sounds like a really fun game. I
It
just saw it not long ago.
it's actually pretty fun. It's interesting. It's definitely a different sort of RPG. All right.
So, any other games you played?
Basically. Oh, apparently you need to turn your mic up. I was just looking at the comments.
Okay. Sure. I can try that. Okay. So, all right. Our next topic, if you're done talking about what games you played,
Yeah.
our next topic is the current metagame. So I've turned up my mic volume, so I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. I
Uh,
actually have to keep my voice down because other people in the house are sleeping.
yeah,
So
and
I've been
I uh,
ignoring it.
I also bumped up the Skype output volume, so that should help it a little bit.
Okay, good. If you guys can hear me, just make sure you can leave the comments. We can read your comments for sure. I can.
Yeah, and I can read them too. I mean, you get to see my whole live control room thing, but that's not a big deal.
So the current metagame right now is UU and RU are being suspected. OU just got its suspect testing done, which Landor's eye is going
Which some of us don't really agree with as much as others, but we I understand the reasoning behind it.
okay. Uh, UU is being suspected with frost loss.
Which
RU,
honestly, I don't understand the Frostlass suspect. Okay, it's not. It hasn't even been a strong pick in UU as it is in actuality.
but if you think about it, like what we talked about with Deoxys D, it kind of allows hyper offense. Not just that too, but it has a niche that Gengar has, which is the Decimate Bond, which will kill pretty much spinner that comes in.
Well, yeah, and not to mention, I mean, it has that cursed body hacks, which is arguably frustrating when it happens and prevents you from finishing something off.
Not to mention, it's got some pretty good bulk, only being weak to Dark, Ghost, and Fire.
But then again, Victini's on almost every. Then again, Victini's on almost every UU team as it is now, so.
True.
Okay, apparently they still can't hear you as well.
Really?
Really.
Oh, jeez.
Here, we'll bump this up again.
All right. I've got my mic all the way up.
Okay, well if they can't hear you now, then that's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, it will be a problem.
Hmm. Well, I guess this is why we're running a pilot episode so we can work out the kinks. Anyway, so what's being suspected for RU?
Hail.
Hail. Yeah.
Hail's broken. Get that shit out of there.
It really
That's all I have to say.
it really is, but Hail took a pretty big nerf with the loss of Nidoqueen. I mean, honestly, that was probably the best offensive Pokemon that you could muster up in a Hail team.
True, but if you look just down the tier in NU, there's plenty of Hail abusers. Glaceon being one of them, Rotom Fan being another one, and then there's the Stall Ring, the famous Stall Ring.
I think you mean Rotom Frost. Well, Rotom Frost is also
Yeah, broken.
RU, I think. Anyway, so it's either RU or NU. No, it's NU because
It's NU.
that's right.
Fan and Frost are in NU.
That's right. The two Rotom forms, and out of both of them, really neither of them gets used all that much.
But going back on Hail, I was actually reading some forums on Smogon about it, and some guy made it interesting. It's not the Hail that's broken; it's the abusers of Hail that's broken.
Well, I mean that's kind of the case of almost nearly every weather that there is. Because if you think about it, yeah, rain,
That's the
rain.
problem with Rain. I mean, if you look Rain defensively, it cuts fire moves in half, and that's pretty much it.
All
And
right.
then in Sun, cuts water moves in half, there's something I'm missing, you feel free to add in.
I mean, there is the offensive factor as well.
But with hail, there's no real defensive thing with hail other than it's it's buffed or its own Pokemon's abilities like Ice Body, able to heal.
And I mean, even sand arguably is weaker than sun and rain. I mean, it has a sand force. It used to have sand veil, which used to be pretty much sand's niche, but you know, ever since the sand veil snow cloak ban, I don't know. Sand's getting a little bit more. It seems like it's turning a bit more to stall, especially with the elimination of Landorus Eye, which arguably is, I guess, the last good sandstorm abuser. Because I mean, it had sheer force, but it also had the useful ability of sand force.
I don't think he's the last sandstorm abuser. I mean, Ditar, the biggest one.
Well, yeah, but I'm like meaning as far as offensive is concerned, like XDigitalbeam got banned almost a year ago, which was Sand Rush. Everybody went to Stoutland, but then they kind of fell off of Stoutland because it doesn't have the greatest attack in the world.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing through the stream. They can't hear me for shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to work on that and fix it. Like I've got the stream volume bumped up. Ah, there. Let's bump up presenter. That should probably help a bit.
Hello? Hello?
It takes a few minutes.
Yeah, every time I talk, my mic goes a little bit down. I can see the volume go down as much as I speak. Holy crap!
That's really strange. I
Yeah.
I also bumped up the contextual audio of presenter, so hopefully that should bump it up as well. And the stream volume has been bumped up. So hopefully that fixes it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'd have to agree with you in that RU Hail is a bit overpowered. Less so than it used to be because, like I said, Nidoqueen probably was the best Hail abuser due to sheer force and Blizzard doing tons of damage.
Pardon?
Did you not hear that? Yeah.
No. I spaced out for a second.
Oh, I was gonna say Nidoqueen was the best Hail abuser in RU,
Yeah, hands down. Hands
but
down.
now that's UU, we don't really have to worry about. And I'm kind of glad for that Nidoqueen ban from RU because honestly, it was dominating the tier. Like Victini is kind of in UU right now, strangely enough.
Yeah. Well, here's something weird I thought of just now. If remember when Crass was in RU?
Yeah, like the whole what week? I think it lasted a week before it was auto banned.
If you think about it, that thing was the best counter to Nidoqueen.
It was pretty much the only
It was
counter.
faster. It was bulky as shit. It could KO with a psychic, and then they just removed it.
Yeah, because
Nothing could take it down.
it's
If you ran both of those Pokemons together, you're pretty much set to win.
let's put it this way. Cresselia honestly is probably the bulkiest Pokemon in
Who have ever walked in the Pokemon world?
to ever walk minus Lugia.
Levitate. It has no feet. Levitate.
Minus Lugia. Okay. Minus Lugia.
Okay. Yeah, minus Lugia.
Minus Lugia. I mean, Lugia is arguably the bulkiest Pokemon to walk on the face of the earth, especially now that it has multi-scale.
Yeah.
But if you didn't want Ubers, Cresselia is arguably the most bulky Pokemon.
That's true. There's no arguing about that. Crest is used all the time in VGC. It's a proven staple with him.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has arguably the best team support factor out of any wall. It
Yeah,
gets
it gets
it
so
gets
dark.
it gets literally almost everything that could be used for a team support.
Yeah, it gets Healing Wish, Lunar Dance, or I guess Lunar Dance is kind of like Healing Wish.
Lunar Dance is better than Healing Wish because I think Healing Wish only recovers the HP and stuff, while Lunar Dance like is pretty much a total rejuvenation.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think? Last call for the metagame?
I
We're
mean,
pretty much just patching up what's left of third gen or fifth gen, and then
yeah.
before sixth gen comes, because God knows that shit's gonna be hectic with fairy type.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's gonna be interesting things that I'll be looking forward to dropping back to OU for the time being. When sixth gen comes around, will be it'll be interesting to have the Deoxys brothers back. I guess, for lack of a better term. Genesect in theory should come back. Lander's Eye should come back. Tornado should come back.
Thunderous Eye should come back.
Thunderous Eye should come back.
Excadrill. I mean, pretty much
Executor.
everything that's been put to everything that's been banned from OU to Ubers will get a chance to come back in sixth gen again and get their chance at glory.
And honestly, if Fairy type is actually weak to steel, like it's been rumored, Genesec's gonna be one of those auto bans back into Ubers as soon as people have had, I don't know, a month to play.
Yeah,
Because let's face it, Genesect is powerful.
it's god tier, bro.
It's it's one of the best Pokemon that Game Freak has made in a long time.
Yeah, ever since Arceus.
Oh, hey, we're already getting questions. Look at this.
Yeah, we've been getting questions for a while, bro. I
Oh,
mean,
why didn't you tell me?
we will be answering questions at the end.
Yeah,
It's just like they're just asking. I think it's just the same dude just asking.
I think so too. That works.
Uh, we are gonna actually. Our next topic is sixth gen. So
Believe it or not, we have this somewhat planned out. We have methods to our madness.
yes, so we don't actually stop and actually, get a period where we don't talk. We don't want that to happen. So
Basically, no.
sixth gen, Nick, what do you think is gonna happen in sixth gen?
So obviously, Fairy type's going to be a huge factor. In that it's strong against dragon. Actually, it's not only strong against dragons, but it's completely immune to dragons.
Has that been confirmed?
I think I don't know if it's been confirmed, but that's the quote unquote rumor. And usually, the guy who's been giving out the rumors has been pretty dead on accurate to this point.
He's 80% accurate. Some of the things he says is trying to like twist some of the stuff because I remember people were saying he got some of it right, but the other things are just kind of so ridiculous that they won't even be true.
Uh, didn't that trailer like show the types and the effectiveness and resistance though? I swore it did. Either that or I'm losing my mind, which is entirely possible. But I was pretty sure that the trailer showed that it was definitely strong against dragon and steel, and there was one other, but I can't remember at this point. And then it was weak against poison fighting, or no, it was strong against dragon. That's the only thing that was ever confirmed. But it was like weak against poison and steel.
Yeah, at least that's what Pokemon Smash has confirmed for us so far.
And I mean, Pokemon Smash almost comes directly from Pokemon themselves.
Yeah, because
So
like they get their information from the actual company and then they translate it and then they like relay the messages back.
oh lord, Rayquaza hitting OU. Sorry, I just saw that comment. If that ever happened, I would abuse Rayquaza just because it's like my channel mascot. Well, it is my channel
Its
mascot. So
its ability would make weather kinda lackluster because weather wouldn't be in there when he's on the field.
well, and
Maybe Drizzle with Swizzle would come back, or it would be a thing. Who knows?
I don't know. See, I think Smogon will probably keep the whole Drizzle plus Swift Swim ban through 6th gen as well, just
For the beginning, they will.
I mean, you look at it, you look and you try and argue that what about Sun plus Chlorophyll, but the actual amount of decent Chlorophyll users is so low. I mean, we have what? We have Venusaur and we have Executor, but Executor is never going to make it to past like maybe RU next gen
You have
anyway.
Lilligant too.
We also have Lilligant, but Lilligant's, it has the same problem as Executor. It's offensive, but it's not really bulky. It can be bulky if it sets up, but that requires it to set up.
I agree.
Venusaur, however, has somewhat natural bulk, and then it also has growth to increase its offenses.
By 2 stages.
Exactly. So, and it has arguably a better move pool to deal with OU threats like Earthquake for Heatran, which quote unquote walls it, but then, Venusaur also gets Earthquake, so it doesn't really wall it.
Yeah. Well,
And,
we are talking about 6th gen right now. So let's just talk
this is
about
true.
the new Pokemons that's been coming out, the region itself. Let's just talk about that. Talk
Right.
about 5th gen.
Well, yeah.
So, what's your favorite Pokemon that came out? I top three. What's your top three that came out so far?
So, I really like the Squid Pokemon just because it finally has the typing that I've been waiting forever for.
Malamar.
Yeah, Malamar.
Its U.S. name.
Malamar. Okay, Malamar, like, right now, I really want Malamar to do good. I'm going to be dead serious here.
Well, it's got contrary, so I think it's destined to be good.
Exactly. So, Malamar is definitely a top pick just because it has that Dark Psychic typing that I've been waiting pretty much since, I swear, 3rd gen was the idea that I thought of it. And I've been waiting since 3rd gen for a Dark Psychic type to actually appear. I really like Cone Edge, and doesn't it have like a special ability where it boosts attack every stage now?
Yeah, its ability's no good.
Oh yeah, its ability is no guard, but it gets Swords Dance, which I guess was kind of,
It's Shadow Sneak too.
and then Shadow Sneak. It was kind of like a giveaway that it should get Swords Dance,
Yeah,
but then again, like we have things like Electrode who can't learn Rapid Spin even though it's a ball. So
true. That's actually true. Electro should get Rapid Spin. They'd be on everyone's team.
exactly, and then I like Evidel just because it has like that kind of dark, creepy look to it,
Okay.
and I tend to be a fan of quote unquote dragon slash dragonkin.
So Noivern.
Oh yeah, Noivern's gonna be. I really want Noivern to uh to be fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, looking at all the Pokemons that just came out, they all look fantastic, like on artwork and in game. Picking three, uh, the thing about me is that I can't really choose which one I like, but for this one, I can definitely pick three. Um, I guess I would say Litleo.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. Litleo, fire poison. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's gonna be fire poison. You see its tail. You see that little scorpion thing right there. It's gonna be fire poison. It's a chimera.
If it's not fire poison, then I don't know. Game Freak has just messed up all the traditional lore that exist.
I mean,
For
like if they really gonna bring fairy type and they're gonna announce its weaknesses, they're adding a whole bunch of poisons. Like they added that new water poison.
oh yeah.
Litleo's gonna be a poison type. What else is poison? I guess that's it. Only two.
So
Whatever.
here's the question for 6th gen.
Yeah.
If Fairy actually is, like Pokemon Smasher said, weak to poison, then that would make stuff like an OU that isn't exactly used all that much, like Toxicroak, more viable.
Yeah, or Tentacruel.
Or Tentacruel more viable. It would actually bump up the quote unquote effectiveness of an offensive Tentacruel. Uh,
Has pretty decent stats for offense,
yeah,
an offensive Pokemon.
yeah. I mean, people mostly use it for defense because it has a pretty good special defensive stat, and it has an arguably better speed than most walls.
Yeah. But my three favorite are Litleo, Honedge, like you said, Ghost Steel type. Easily one of the best types they've introduced so far. And my third one is Go-Go.
Huh.
Oh, and Pangoro.
I'm gonna. I
Panda.
I really hope Pangoro is as good as I hope he is. He kind of reminds me of the boss of Mega Man X6, I think it is.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
what do you think about the new transfer system for 6th gen, though? That's been announced. The new quote unquote, new quote unquote global trading system.
Like the PSS.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's good because it's gonna be easier to get like Wi-Fi battles. Not just that too, but you'll be able to get Wi-Fi battles around your neighborhood, so you can potentially meet people close to your house, get to know them, be friends and stuff. I think it.
Wear my T-shirt around my neighborhood and just like be like, everybody sub me. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Come up
I
with it.
think I think it increases the value or increases like the chances of like actually becoming friends with other people.
That's
And
true.
I actually forgot what I was about to say, which sucks.
Wheezing for a Gen 6 bump. And on it, actually, if fairy type is actually weak to poison, I guess that's always a possibility as well. Ed, our lovely little derp, will have Rimmer all over the place.
Mm, mm. Yeah. Um. What else? What do you think of the Kalos region?
It's interesting, to say the least. I like its terrain, I should say.
It's really grassy.
It's really grassy, but I mean, you can obviously see the places that are going to be very mountainous regions and the places that are obviously going to be very seafaring regions.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most detailed regions, I would say.
Hmm.
As to date, well, it better be because it is going to be in 3D, so,
Yeah. Um. I I'm more intrigued about the Pokedex being split into three.
Yeah, that's actually fascinating as well. So obviously there's going to be the region dex, and then there's going to be the national dex. I wonder what the third Pokedex is going to be.
A third Pokedex.
Well, the third Pokedex entry, because he said the Pokedex is
Oh,
split into three.
yeah. It's split into three different parts. It's the middle region of the Kalos. It's split into three different Kalos regions. It's got the
Oh,
coastal region, the mountain region, and then the central region.
so what you're saying is they took essentially
They
what
took
they.
the Pokedex. They took the region of the Pokedex and they split it into three categories:
Well, yeah, I know.
mountain Pokemon, ocean Pokemon, and terrain Pokemon.
Basically, they're doing what they tried to do in Fire Red and Leaf Green, which I liked that they did that. It was kind of hard to find
Yeah.
Pokemon though, that way, which is probably why they didn't keep it. But it was still, a very good, very nice change back in third gen when they did that.
Hmm. Um, yeah, the map. I actually like the design of the map and everything. When I first saw it, when they introduced it, when they didn't tell us anything about it, I had no idea where the starting point was, which was actually like the most exciting thing about it is like pondering about where you would start and stuff. But since they've shown it now, you start at the bottom and then you work your way up.
Which is
It's
like almost every
it's generic.
Pokemon game.
Like it's generic. Why can't you start at the top and then go to the bottom? I mean, like you're the champion of the league, and now you have to like work your way down to like Samaritan level. I don't know. That was just a joke.
Give away all your Pokemon.
Okay, so let's move on to fairy types.
Fairy types. Well, Sylveon being a fairy type is the.
So far, the new fairy types that have been announced are Sylveon, Flabébé, Swirlix, Spritzels. I'm sorry if I butcher these names, and Xerneas.
Yeah, which I could honestly, I mean, now everyone's going to be refunding their Pokemon Y pre-order and going to Pokemon X because obviously Xerneas is going to probably be the better legendary
Yeah,
just from the due fact that it has fairy type and fairy type is going to be overpowered.
and its ability, which is a new way of like a new adaptability for fairy type for Xerneas at least. I mean, that's the first time we ever get a legendary get adaptability. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah. And I mean adaptability is a good ability. It's a fantastic ability. It's just the amount of Pokemon that can use it above UU are slim to none.
Doesn't Toxicroak get adaptability too?
No. Toxicroak gets dry skin and forewarn, I believe, and then its Dream World ability is Poison Touch.
Are you sure?
I'm
Let me
pretty
check.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, if Toxicroak got adaptability, it would probably be used more.
Anticipation.
Anticipation. It was like I knew it was either it was some version of forewarn.
Yeah. It warns you if your opponent has a KO move or super effective move,
Yeah.
which is meh.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, Toxicroak has multiple weaknesses. Of course, it's going to essentially anticipate everything.
Okay, so like these new fairy types, I mean, there's nothing really much appealing to them. They appeal more to female than male, that's for sure. That's 100% sure because I'm
Come.
not catching any one of these fairy types. Maybe I might catch a Meryl because I've known Meryl as a water type my whole life. But these new fairy types, I mean, there's a flamingo, there's a little fairy on a flower that's like a Spinda type Pokemon, and then you have a cotton candy Pokemon. I can't diss on cotton candy. It's cotton candy.
I'm good. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I'll probably still catch them all. Like
Yeah,
that's one of my quote unquote goals of every Pokemon game is to catch all the new Pokemon.
yeah. I mean, I'm obviously gonna catch them, but I'm not gonna use them.
Oh, I'll use them too. Like I'll be that fruitcake on Wi-Fi battles.
The berries.
I'll be that fruit.
The berries.
I got my fairy types. It's time to be fabulous. Okay, that
Fairy
was
God types.
so fabulous. Fabulosity with fairies.
Okay. Well, there's no doubt without about that fairy type will have a big impact in the metagame due to dragons being pretty much overpowered, quote unquote. I don't think they're over. I think fighting types overpowered.
Yeah, especially
That might
since
be just me, but
I mean,
fighting types have high jump kick, close combat, focus blast. They're
and
all 120.
and they're also here's the thing about fighting types is they also the stuff that severely damages fighting types isn't all that common in the upper tiers.
Yeah, flying is barely existent, and psychic is usually used as a defensive type. I mean, the only psychic types I can think off the top of my head that are an OU are Jirachi. That's it.
Alakazam,
Okay, Alakazam, I forgot him, but yeah.
he's frail, which is why everybody runs a focus sash on him, especially since Magic Guard. Reuniclus is a nice bulky psychic type, but most people tend to make it bulky as opposed to offensive. So,
I like the Trick Room set.
do you think
Very
that
offensive.
do you think that being able to walk diagonally is going to impact gameplay in 6th gen? That's actually a question. I wouldn't think so. I mean, do you think being able to walk diagonally is going to impact it really? You can maybe more easily avoid trainers if you don't want to fight them all.
Um, I don't know. That's that's actually the best question I've ever heard someone ask. I think you could. I think you'd be able to avoid more battles in game if you could walk diagonally. Maybe I don't know.
But here's the thing. You also got to realize we're probably going to have the experience system from fifth gen, so you're not going to really want to avoid battles. Otherwise, you'll end up under leveled.
In fifth gen, they had the feature where if you ran, the trainers would automatically notice you, but if you walked, they wouldn't.
Well,
So you
that
could spend
feature has been
more
around.
time running, getting into battles, or you could just walk and they wouldn't pay you any attention. I don't know. I don't know how 16 is gonna work like that.
The thing about that feature is I think it's been around since second gen.
He's asking gameplay in sixth gen.
I know. I wonder. I would. In theory, you should be able to avoid trainer battles more unless they somehow manage to position them to where they're unavoidable.
Yeah.
That's probably the only benefit I could ever see from it. I mean, they might be able to make more elaborate puzzles now,
Hmm.
which would be nice because I mean, let's be honest, the puzzles for gym leaders as of thus far has been subpar at best. Of course, again, we are also talking about Pokemon, which is traditionally viewed as a kids game. So therefore, if they make the puzzles too hard, kids are going to get mad and quit and blah blah blah.
True.
Although it honestly, it kind of seems like with sixth gen they're kind of realizing that hey, most of our players are up in their late teens or early 20s now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They're saying like anyone who's playing the game grew up with it by now. I mean, they're all in their 20s. I'm in my 20s. I think I started playing when I was 5.
I started playing when I was like 5. Whenever Red and Blue came out, I played.
Well, I didn't play exactly when it came out. I got it on the year it came out. My brother got Red on his birthday, and I swear I would just like watch him play this really crazy game where you have like 6 characters. They don't talk, but they all have their different like move sets and abilities, and it's just I was hooked when I was a kid.
Exactly. I mean, like most of us who play it now have been playing since Gen 1 or
Yeah.
Gen 2 at the latest. Some people, I guess, haven't started till Gen 3 and they still have the same great love that we do. But
Yeah.
I think the Pokemon company is finally kind of starting to realize
Hmm.
who like their target audience for the past 5 gens has been kids. But now you can kind of tell with the the upgraded Pokemon designs, the fact that they're actually starting to make them look a bit more grown up Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
Litleo, it's a Chimera. Chimeras are just
Hmm.
scary in the first place, and they pretty much nailed the Chimera look to a T.
Yeah, that's true.
So
They're
they're realizing who the audience that they capture actually is,
Yeah.
and arguably YouTube could kind of have something to kind of do with that.
Yeah, I think social media has a lot to do with it now because Nintendo does those Nintendo directly. I like that.
I like that. I'm really glad they added that in. I'm not going to lie. It's one of the good things that Nintendo's done in a long time.
Yeah, I mean they're probably the only game company that truly freak. What's that word? Care.
Interacts. Well, yeah,
They
care.
care. They care.
I mean, you can tell Sony cares a little bit, but again,
Sony does care.
Sony.
They they've been under the radar for like the past year or so.
Yeah, because quote unquote. Which here's the funny thing. Okay, so everybody's like, "Oh, Xbox is the greatest," even though PS3 had the better specifications and everything, and
Mm,
arguably, in my opinion, other than Halo, Gears of War, in my opinion, PS3 had the better version exclusives, like the version
yeah.
exclusives that you played for for the Xbox tended to be mostly shooters, while the version exclusives for PS3 ranged anywhere from
Action RPG,
it ranged
action RPG
to
to Leap Up and Beyond.
yeah. So they had the diversity. It's just everybody loved Xbox 360. Then when the Xbox One comes out, everybody suddenly wants a PS4.
Well,
Well, that's partially due to the fact that the
as a
Xbox One.
person who owned an Xbox and an Xbox 360 and only played Halo on it, I would actually buy a PS3 and buy more games for that system than I would for the Xbox.
And I mean, okay, so I have all the, well, I guess I don't have all the current gen consoles since, like, the next gen consoles are going to be out in a little under 4 months.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I have a Wii, I have a PS3, I have an Xbox. Okay, I'm fairly up to date. I don't have a Wii U because that thing's expensive, and really the only good or the only good Wii U game that I think there is right now is the new Super Mario Brothers U and Pikmin that's going to come out in a few days.
But will you be getting it?
Eventually, I mean
Yeah.
eventually I'll get a Wii U. I'll probably get a PS4. Well, I guess I have till 2014, but 2014 is not that far away. Let's put it this way: by the time I have the money saved up for a PS4, Kingdom Hearts 3 will probably be out, so I'll probably get a PS4
Yeah.
first, and
So
then I'll get a Wii U because I love Kingdom Hearts. Well,
I can't wait to finish that friggin' series, man. I played mostly every game but Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep's fun. The problem with Birth by Sleep is, of course, it's PSP exclusive, which is what they were trying to do to bring back the PSP. But
Yeah, that failed.
yeah, and then of course we have the lovely PS Vita that I don't think has gotten a new game for what 3 months.
What's a Vita?
It's it's the current. It's like the current. Yeah, it's the current PSP. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Like it's the new PSP, and I have one. And the games they have for it are decent.
Yeah.
The problem is they're just not making any more games for it, really, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know about that. I don't know why they're not making games for a system. It's been I haven't seen any commercials about it either.
The
Maybe I
the
haven't seen it.
the Vita didn't work how they wanted it to work. Is the thing.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
why that's why I think Sony went like under the radar. I think they're gonna come back with the PS4, man. I think so. But yeah, let's go back to Pokemon.
well, yeah.
Pokemon and me. I actually have something that I think Pokemon and me is about. I don't think it's about EVs. I think it's about IVs. Because if you look at it, you're individually like communicating with a Pokemon, like efforts. I think this is for EVs. I think Pokemon ME is gonna help for IVs, and like the old stuff we knew will be for EVs.
Right, and if that's the case, then who cares if there's not a Pokegen if you can bump up the IVs that way?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if Pokemon ME is for IVs, then there would be no point to hack a game anymore because you would do it on your own. You'd be able to increase every stat, HP, like attack, defense, etc.
And I mean, it'll be great if that's the case, and then
Yeah,
like
if that's the case. If
if
not, then I'm still hoping for them to have uh, transfer capabilities for from fifth to sixth, like they did from fourth to fifth, and third to fourth,
right,
and first to second. But they didn't do it for second to third.
because the whole system to system thing was an issue back then.
Yeah, not just that too. A lot of Pokemon has moves that they really shouldn't learn, like Nidoqueen with Moonlight. Hello, why can't we have that in sixth gen?
Because that's a
I
second
swear to God, I was flipping balls when I saw that.
that's a second gen thing. there's a lot of good
And then
stuff.
Hitmonchan getting Curse. Are
there's a lot. There was a lot of. Well, Curse was a TM back then as well, though.
Oh, was it?
Uh huh.
Fuck, I gotta play those games again.
Uh, but there was a lot of good things that were back in second gen. I hope the move tutors in sixth gen are much better than fifth gen move tutors. Much better.
I hope so too.
Fifth gen move tutors were kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
I mean, for first off,
Roost was good.
Roost was good, and it's good that they brought that back.
Sleep Talk.
Sleep Talk was good, but it also existed as a TM, I think, if I'm correct.
It was a TM in the fourth gen.
Uh it's nice that they put Drain Punch back in as a move tutor, but
And Giga Drain.
and Giga Drain. But let's be honest, like,
Outrage.
yeah, but every,
Outrage led to broken mens.
uh huh. But let's be honest, like, move tutors in Black and White 2 were a little subpar compared to Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which, oh my gosh, the move tutors from that were just amazing.
Yeah. I really didn't play fourth gen competitive that much, but I did remember playing it for fun. And yeah, it had a yeah. I would say fifth gen like competitive. That's all I know. But
True. Okay,
fourth gen had bullet punch
let's
as a move.
let's be honest here. Don't you hope that they decide to put in the Pokemon walking behind you again?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Oh my gosh, it's just
If they had a feature to turn it on and off, that'd be cool. But I think having that, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a cool concept, but I guess so. I don't know.
I liked it, but that's me. I thought it was a nice little, I guess, personal.
It's cool to see like a huge ass Rayquaza or just following you behind.
Well, yeah, and it was a nice little personalization feature. Which, speaking of personalization features, it's nice that you can actually customize your trainer now.
Yeah, yeah. Not just in game too, but online.
Yeah, it'll
Like
be,
it will look different to the person online as well as to you.
which I'll appreciate. It'll
We all
definitely.
appreciate that. I mean, black people can finally now be black. It's a glorious world now
It
that Pokemon has provided us.
sitting on benches too. I mean, come on. Who has
Yes,
never who has never wanted to sit on a bench in a Pokemon game?
sitting on a bench in the park with
Okay, come
people.
on. Now we're just getting ridiculous.
Okay.
All right, well, we're at the last 10 minutes, so here's a little feature that we kind of want to put in that will actually determine if this stays live or if this goes to being pre-recorded. So, here's this is pretty much a big question and answer thing, and we already have a few questions that we can answer. Um,
Okay.
what are your thoughts on the new fairy type? We actually covered that. Uh,
I like it and dislike it.
what are your thoughts on X and Y? I think it's promising. Let's put it that way. It's very promising.
Eric, fix your mic. That's all I hear. That's all I see actually. Eric, fix your mic. Or Eric's mic is on auto fix setting.
Yeah, apparently it's on an auto fix setting.
I
Um,
think it is too.
oh, here's the here's the good question. When could Destiny Bond be a bad thing in competitive battling? Well, A, you have
When
it
you use it wrong.
when you use it wrong, basically. Like if you use Destiny Bond to take out something and intentionally sacrifice that Pokemon, when you that Pokemon would have been better used countering something else, then yeah, obviously that's going to be a big issue right there.
I actually thought Destiny Bond had priority.
I think it does.
I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
Well,
Sometimes I think it does, and sometimes I don't, and it'll work just whatever it wants. So yeah,
This is
any other
what
questions?
this is what Cerebi is for, in all
Yeah.
honesty. Like I was pretty sure it did because I swear it did, but it might not. No, it has zero speed priority. So I guess it's just if you're fast enough, you got to use it.
Yeah, Gengar and Frostlass are the fastest ones that can use that move. I think they both have base 110.
Somewhere along that
I'm
line.
not sure.
I know Frostlass is pretty fast, which is I guess kind of the reason it's being suspected for Yu. But
Yeah,
all right.
it can set up hazards, taunt, paralyze, and then take out a foe or take out a threat.
Let's see.
Yeah.
And we talked about the walking diagonally if it's going to impact gameplay in 6th gen. I don't see any other questions unless people start asking them. Do you see
I don't
any?
know.
Do you see any? Because sometimes the live control room glitches out.
The last question I see is or water electric.
Well, that's not really a new question.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a question.
It's not even a question. It's somebody wants water electric, which there's Lantern, okay,
And Rotom.
and Rotom, but I get what they're saying. They want a new water electric.
Yeah. I mean, having a new water grass type would be cool too. I mean, there is only one. I mean, hello? Is there only one?
I'm trying to
I
think.
I think there's only one.
I'm pretty sure there's only one family that has water grass.
Yeah, so that'd be a good typing. It is an excellent typing. Only weak to poison, flying,
And being that, well, actually, I guess
and bug.
if
Yeah, and bug.
I guess if Fairy really is weak to poison, poison will be around a lot more.
You'll see a lot of Pokemon. You'll see probably Gengar running Sludge Bomb.
I've seen Gengars run Sludge Bomb before, anyway.
You're gonna see Lander's Eye running Sludge Wave instead of HP Ice or Focus Blast. That's how people are gonna be prepared.
I
They're gonna
mean,
start.
is it bad that if I had my Landorus, I know Sludge Wave?
No, it's not.
I was gonna say
It destroys Celebi.
I already had that just for Celebi, and I was like, this thing's gonna hit hella hard anyway. Why do I need HP Ice?
Take Life Orb recoil.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question.
What is your question?
Um, what do you think of PU?
PU. Oh,
That was supposed to be one of our topics.
that was supposed to be one of our topics. We forgot to get to it, and since no one's really asking questions, we can actually cover it
We can briefly talk about it.
briefly. Talk. So here's the thing. PU is a nice metagame. It's a fantastic metagame. I really,
It's not-
I really would have liked to actually have seen it become a tier in 5th gen. Like,
It would have been nice.
it would have been fantastic, and it would have actually, quote unquote, balanced out NU. Because NU has, what, 200 something Pokemon that you can abuse that they actually count on the NU list. And then there's all the NFEs that you can also use.
Yeah. I mean, the NU tier is like the biggest and the most hectic tier. Even though some people could debate OU being the most hectic tier.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about OU though. It's switched from stall to being balanced to hyper offensive. As long as you keep that in mind, you can basically play OU. NU has everything. It can make a rain team. It can make a sun team. It can even make a freaking hail team. I don't know how well that would actually suffice though, but it could make a freaking hail team, and it could make a sand team, because there are those stones that allow for 8 turns of the weather, which it's generally enough to set up a sweep to get you ahead.
Not just that too, but you could run a decent trick room team with slow, hard hitting guys like Ampharos,
Rampardos is in there.
Rampardos, Ampharos pretty much destroys the whole metagame. If you think
I
about it.
I mean Rampardos has what, base 160 attack. It's, if I'm correct, the second highest attack in
Pokemon.
in Pokemon, like with Deoxys attack being the highest, obviously. it's pretty freaking strong. It's just slow, and you can run. I mean, the here's something that I would like to see for 6th gen.
Yeah.
Something that increases the duration of field effects. Like,
How long? By how long?
to 6 to 8 turns, somewhere along there.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of like the rocks increase the weather from 5 to 8.
Yeah.
Maybe make it 4 to 6 or 4 to 8. I'd be happy with that. Trick room teams would be so much more viable then, without having to have multiple trick room
And then
people.
not only an item was introduced, but an ability as well. So you would have an added 3 turns plus an extra 3 turns. That would be 11 turns of trick room.
Which
That that would be pretty heavy to deal with.
that would be pretty heavy to deal with, but honestly, I doubt they'll ever introduce. If they ever introduce an ability with Trick Room, they'll introduce like a weird ass looking Pokemon. Okay, it'll look hella weird, and it'll have an ability that just makes a permanent Trick Room,
True. Okay.
or a heavy looking Pokemon that makes a permanent gravity effect. That's another thing I'd like to see for 6th gen is gravity teams being more common.
Yeah, I like gravity teams.
I mean, if you think about it, gravity teams in a nutshell eliminate a lot of hacks factors.
Yeah, makes it so you hit focus blocks and stone edges, and people like to complain about that. Why don't you just run gravity?
And you
It's
well, and then you get like 50% accuracy moves like dynamic punch and zap cannon that hit.
Starmie learns gravity, and it gets blizzard, hydro pump, thunder. I mean, just running gravity in those 3 moves, you've got the whole package.
Yeah, pretty much, which I think I experimented with the idea of one, and it doesn't exactly work as well in OU because, well, OU tends to be weather based and field effects just have issues working well. But yeah, PU's kind of interesting. Like, for those of you who haven't played PU, you should go play a PU match, and then if you want to complain about OU ever again, try making a team out of some of the stuff that's in PU. It's fun. It's really fun, and the battles tend to take a little bit longer because there's stuff that doesn't hit as hard.
Next to that too, you won't know nothing. It's a completely new, fresh idea. You're using Pokemons that nobody uses, like Lunatone. Who uses a Lunatone?
I've used the Lunatone
Lunatone,
before, but
Lunatone's pretty boss, Lunatone. And there's other great Pokemons that really get underappreciated.
I mean,
It's because of
it,
it's because of the tiering system. No lie about it. If the tiering system was not based on usage, you would see a lot of other people using a lot of different Pokemon. I mean, sure, it's a great way of knowing what people are using, but it's not a way of evaluating a Pokemon's worth in a battle. It's not. It's not. Scarf Glaceon is just as fast as Scarf Emboar. It's like a truck.
it hits pretty hard. We're gonna be serious there. And yeah, I mean, PU's fun, especially since like there's no quote unquote actual PU Smogon sets, and pretty much you're making everything up on your own. So it really tests your creativity as well, which I kind of like about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a true test of men.
It is a test of
No lie
men.
about it.
But I believe that's pretty much all the time we have for the podcast today.
Yeah. So
So
thank you everyone for watching, for participating in the questions. If you would like to leave a question for the next episode, we are not sure if we're going to make it live or pre-recorded. So just leave your questions in this video comment section below. And yeah,
And I mean, honestly, okay, well, keep in mind that you guys are going to probably see this half an hour after it airs if you miss the stream
Sure.
because it just takes that long for YouTube to process a video of this size. But
Okay.
also keep in mind that you can also leave a suggestion if we should do this live like we did, because it does kind of add that community involvement feeling that some of you like, or if you want it pre-recorded, in which case we'll pre-record it, have it done, and put it out as soon as we can. Also, make sure that you check.
Like.
Well, yeah, likes are nice too. I was actually going to say something else.
Okay.
Well, check out XDigitalbeam. I think he's going to start posting on his channel more. And
Yeah, I'm in the works.
also, if you have a suggestion as what this should be called, because obviously this is the pilot episode, let us know in the comments. Other than that, I'm gonna peace out, and if Eric has something that he wants to say to peace out, he can right now.